Nobody indeed. What is good? Welcome into Driving the Line. My name is Alan Bell. We've got a fantastic show lined up for you today. Big Brad, what's up, bro? How we doing, man?
Doing great, AB. Shout out to all the parents who have to stay home today because daycare is canceled for President's Day. What is that about? And all the people who get that day off, but whose children don't. So shout out to those people who are dealing with that.
There we go, man. And you know what, Greg? Hey, happy President's Day, buddy. How we doing?
Happy President's Day to you as well. Never been prouder to be part of this country, no matter what you feel, be proud of who you are, where you are, and what you're about. So happy President's Day to all of you guys. Happy Monday.
There we go. All right, now let's jump into it here because I want to look. We've got some sports today, a little bit, not a lot, but they're good. It's good in what we have. Okay, but I also want to take a look at what we saw this weekend in college baseball. Like, let's get ourselves together. What we saw the first weekend. We've got some games today. And we'll go from there. So, all right, let's jump into it here. This is what we had from yesterday. Oregon State money line, Wake Forest money line minus 105. Got that one. Louisville money line, Southern Miss money line minus 105. Got that one. Arkansas money line, Vanderbilt money line plus 115. Arkansas, they won the game. That was an incredible one there. And Vanderbilt did not. We hit 5 out of 6. Oh, my goodness. We almost went perfect, but we will absolutely take it here. So, 2 out of 3. Let's get it. Now, what did we see on Sunday here in college baseball? Oklahoma State takes Vandy down 11-1. Louisville took down Michigan State. Finally, they get a win, 9-1. Texas A&M, they win. Texas wins. Miami wins big. They've scored a bunch of runs already. Oregon State, good win over Stanford there. LSU, 21-7. Wake Forest gets a dub. Arkansas took down Texas Tech. UC San Diego gets one against UCLA. Southern Miss finishes the series there, wins 2 out of 3. Taking down UC Santa Barbara. Michigan took down Arizona. Look at that. And then Oklahoma took down TCU. Look at Oklahoma, 3-0 on the season so far. Let's jump into today, see what we've got. Albie said, hey, nice day. AB, Albie, appreciate it. Good to see you, man. And look, Matty Ice, absolutely smoking it in the Discord. So well done there. Mr. Blue Wildcats, Oregon State, Western Kentucky. Let's go. I love the way you are thinking. All right, I'll tell you what. Let's jump right into the picks. We have no time to waste. Let's get it. All right, Brad, talk to me first, bro. What you got?
We're going to Slovenia, the top flight of Slovenia. Slovenia 1, or the Prva Liga, or the Premier League on your book. It could be all 3 of those. It's Bravo taking on Alumanic, going for 3 total goals, but by way of that Asian total and that 2.75. So 4 totals. 4 total goals can give us that full cash, but we just need 3 to get us home for that half cash. And both teams are trending this. Both teams to score and the over 2.5 goals, but specifically both teams kick up those goals when they're home and away. In this exact split, they do it in this matchup history. It's coming up here at 10:30 a.m. Central Time, so just under 1.5 hours. So you're going to want to go ahead and get that in. It's on the move, over 2.75 at minus 135.
Beautiful, man. Bravo. I first read that as aluminum when I saw it come through. Then I was like, oh, it's how do you pronounce it again?
Alumanic.
Alumanic. That's a heck of a name right there. That'd be a great, that would be a great school to go play ball at. Like, dude, I went to Alumanic. You're like, whoa, that was dope. All right, I don't know what I'm talking about. Greg, bring me back home here. College baseball, what do we have today?
Yeah, shorter slate to get the week started, but a ton of value, in my opinion. And we'll get started early with the first game of the day. Houston going against Washington. We like the Cougars today. I think there is an extreme amount of value. One of the biggest line errors, in my opinion, I've seen so far this year. And things go sideways with baseball, especially in college, but I will take my chances with Houston this morning. I think that they will handle business. Staying in my state of California, we will continue to ride with Fresno State. I've liked them so far this season. I like what I've seen. And I think, again, there's some value. Make sure you're line shopping, as always. There is a big variance of what you can find shop to shop with college baseball lines. So make sure you are doing yourself a favor there. Fresno State money line is our second play of the day. And we will end with a money line parlay. Oregon State coming off the walk-off winner versus Stanford yesterday. We will pair them up with Kansas State, who is hitting the ball. I expected decent offensive production from them early in the year, but this is an entirely different level. Love what I'm seeing. You do worry sometimes when teams score this much early that there's, might be a little bit of a downfall, but I don't expect it. We're playing with metal bats. This is still early in the year, like with a team that I already expected large offensive production from. So player Oregon State, Kansas State together, and that will wrap up our Monday.
Nice, man. Hey, look, let me say this. We make the joke all the time. We're playing with metal bats. That's a T-shirt right there. That's absolutely a T-shirt. We're playing with metal bats. I like it. All right, so Houston money line, Fresno State money line, Oregon State money line, and Kansas State money line. All of those in college baseball. Matty Ice asks, Greg, any thoughts on Houston team total over 3.5 runs in the first 5 innings, minus 135?
The 135 isn't too bad, actually, all things considered. I don't love Washington top to bottom, so I do not hate the play. Only questions I have is with certain teams, they're going to want to come out, play small ball early, produce a little bit of, come out, score a run in the first inning, score a run in the second inning. There's different ways to do that, and LSU is going to do that with, extra base hits and wild pitches because guys get terrified of seeing the ball go out of the yard. But I think that Houston's a little bit of a different offense. I would lean the over 3.5. I don't love it, but yeah, if you wanted to take a shot at that, I wouldn't be against it.
Yeah, there we go. I was looking at Houston full game team total over 6.5, going up against Washington. It's a great spot, man. Yeah, I'm with you. In terms of first fives, it's kind of a mixed bag right now what you're gonna get, but yeah, I like the look, man. Matty Ice, I'm telling you, I was looking the same direction, man. All right, so here is what I have today. 3 plays from me. First off, college basketball. All right, don't want to forget about college basketball. We have 2 ranked games tonight. One of them's massive. The other one just has a massive spread. So we have Houston and Iowa State tonight, live in Ames, Iowa, baby. I want the over. Now, we'll talk about all these games. Iowa State's a 2.5-point favorite, but I want the over. I'll roll it with the over here. Give me over 134.5. Next, Oregon State money line baseball paired with Western Kentucky money line baseball. So I saw in the chat you're looking at Greg going with money line straight up. I feel it. All right, it's risky. However, I'm going to go with the parlay route. Oregon State money line, Western Kentucky money line against BYU, plus 130. And then Houston money line, Greg, I feel you on it. I'm feeling you with Houston. We're all over Houston games today. Houston baseball money line paired with Hawaii money line, the late game against Gonzaga here. So, yeah, those are the 3 I'm going to go with today. David says, do you guys watch all college baseball on ESPN Plus? Yeah, pretty much. I'll be honest. I find illegal streams online where I can. Because even ESPN Plus, you can get shut out of it. So, yeah, I don't want to promote finding illegal streams, but yeah, ESPN Plus, college baseball, ESPN, yeah, definitely the way to go. There's just not a lot of options. A lot of times, if you look up the schools that are playing between the two, sometimes they'll be streaming as well. So, it's still tough to find it. Say it took TCU last night. Still can't sit properly after getting bent. Woof, dude. It is a brutal fight out here in college baseball, no doubt. All right, so it's President's Day. All right, and Brad has a little one. So Bradley, I want to get out of your way. It looks like we have some Australia soccer going on. Talk to us, man. What do we have?
Yeah, while we're on a nap, we get to hop in here and give a nice quick take, give you guys a pick, but also talk some Australian football. Finally, we're kicking into gear in the land down under. Back this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Both teams' scores now trending upwards of 80+%. That is actually an insane hit rate. We've talked about a couple leagues up in that type of hit rate. Not a lot of leagues can trend that type of hit rate in this consistent of a fashion. And when Ozzy gets kicking into gear, it gets very consistent. Teams score in a very regular fashion. So look for that. Both teams to score. Look for that over 2.5 goals, but look for that over 3, not any higher than that 3. You don't want to get yourself into that weird territory because not as many teams are getting to that 3 total goal mark. It's that 4 total goals by way of 2 teams. So look for those numbers live if you can overnight or pre-match, but look for those specifically this weekend, those Sunday matches.
Nice, man. Beautiful work, buddy. I appreciate it. All right. We'll let you jump out of here. I know you got stuff to do. Any final thoughts that you have for the crew? We appreciate it again, man. Thank you again. I know you're dealing with babysitting issues and all that, so we sure do appreciate it. Yeah, any final thoughts, bro?
Yeah, I know it's President's Day, but it's also an American holiday. So, celebrate your troops, celebrate the people who take care of you and all the people who provide service for you to allow you to be able to just live and function as an everyday human. Respect the people around you and they'll respect you. Love you guys, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday.
Well said, my boy. Good to see you, brother. Be good, man. All right. Love, Brad. Thank you so much, my man. All right. Aubie said college baseball should be nationally televised year-round. Let's make it happen. I agree with that. Matty Ice, you mean y'all don't just stare at the stat broadcast live stats? I do that so much. I cannot begin to describe how many games I've sat there and stared at those broadcasts with like 90 tabs open, and you have to refresh live stats and all that. Yeah, no doubt, man. All right. So, Greg, let's do this. Okay. We'll get to college basketball in a little bit. But I want to start with college baseball. All right. And let's just take a look here at what we saw from the weekend, right? Ton of games all over the place. We're in Puerto Rico. We're in Arizona, Texas, all that. So let me pull the banner down for just a second. So this is what we had for the top 25 over the weekend. All right. UCLA 2-1, LSU 3-0, Texas 3-0, Mississippi State 3-0, Georgia Tech 3-0, Coastal 3-0, Arkansas 2-1. Lost to TCU there on Saturday. Louisville 1-2 finally gets a win against Michigan State. Aubie, look at it, 3-0. Great start to the weekend. TCU 2-1, great start. North Carolina 3-0. Greg, we were both pretty high in this team, and obviously it's just one weekend, but love what we saw out of North Carolina. Put up some runs. Indiana, not the best team in the world, but great first weekend. Oregon State 2-1, Florida 2-1, put up some runs there over the weekend. Tennessee 3-0, Georgia 2-1, dropped one to Wright State. Florida State 2-0, one game was canceled, postponed. NC State 2-0, same deal. Kentucky 3-0. Loved what we saw out of the Wildcats this weekend. I'd hate to say that against UNC Greensboro, your former team. However, got to give Kentucky credit. They came out, hit the ball. Clemson 3-0 against Army. Southern Miss, great series win there against UC Santa Barbara. We're going to be talking about them the rest of the year. Wake Forest went 2-1. Miami 3-0. Vanderbilt 1-2. Arizona 0-2. Texas A&M 3-0 against Tennessee Tech. So I bring that up, Greg. I throw it to you. Take it wherever you want, man. Top 25 or where else? Just what did you see over the weekend? Who stood out to you positively, negatively? Yeah, Tony said, AB, what are we going to do with Vandy? We're going to talk about that. Yeah, in 1 second. But yeah, Greg, I throw it to you, man. What'd you see, buddy?
Yeah, I mean, like you've heard plenty of times, don't grab a team at their highest or run away at their lowest. And, after what was a really exciting, fun weekend that we got to see a little bit of everything from 25 runs to, football scores to number one losing. But I think that above all else, it's exciting that we're back. The lines being more available. You can see that happening now. You're actually getting lines while games are still happening for the next day. What an improvement. I'm sure that'll all disappear come the playoffs, but we'll worry about that when we get there. But it was an exciting weekend. Some of these tournaments were huge. Oregon State basically played like a regional this past weekend. I mean, as did a couple of these other teams that had big series. Very impressed with what I saw with TCU. Some good young talent that stands out to me. some of the futures that we've got, I'm impressed with. I like what Texas A&M's offense is off to early. Yes, it's Tennessee Tech, but when you're going to get teams with longer shots, you have to have a lot of things go your way. Confidence is definitely one of them, and A&M is one of those teams that needs it. Santa Barbara, another team that pops out. We have a big long shot on them, as well as winning the Big West, and I don't think it's a fault to them as much as it is a credit to Southern Miss, another team that's going to be there all season. And if you watched any of those games, Santa Barbara could have swept that series. They had the lead in all three of those games late. And credit to Southern Miss. Like I said, they're going to be a solid team, an offense that doesn't go away. And Santa Barbara, on their mental side, they travel all the way over there. They get an unbelievable start from their number one, who that's everything to that team. Knowing you've got a Friday night guy that can shut down anyone, and I think it was a really good series for them, a good challenge, and a really good start. Looking just across the entire board, it's going to be, as we've seen from week one, it's going to be a very interesting year again. I like what I've seen from Texas, actually, I will say. Yes, it was Davis, but they look ready. They look loaded. They look deep. And how many 95-plus mile-an-hour guys are you going to bring out of the bullpen just over and over and over again?
Hey, let me say this, Ed, not to interrupt you. Like what you said about Texas, I agree. Like it's the first weekend of the season. Coming out and just going 3-0 is nice. Like I would say the same thing about Tennessee beating Nichols. Look, new coach, like a whole lot of change. You know what I mean? So anybody that's out here that went 3-0, good job. Anybody that went 2-1, especially like you said, teams that are playing in these tournaments, like the strength of schedule right now is not the same. You know what I mean? It is not the same at all, and it's going to be that way, for the first month. Because trust me, it gets even better. If you thought this was all, no, it's going to take off. So I'll say this, man. After Friday, day one, and going like 1-6, I was vomiting on Saturday. Right, like I was literally sick to my stomach. But I had to remember that it's like that every year. It's like that in the non-conference portion. Saturday we bounce back nicely. Sunday we bounce back nicely. So we started to see some consistency. Now, runs all over the place in terms of betting totals. I didn't dive in all that much. I hit one on Friday. I only played two all weekend, right? I still, again, we've only seen 3 games, some teams 2. So I don't want to take too terribly much. Also, let me say this. Every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, our show, The Overs, we will walk through college baseball every single week. And I'll have all the stats. I'll have everything that you want. Trust me, if you are new here, check the show out. And we'll get it all set up because how the schedule generally for the season goes in college baseball. You play a Tuesday, Wednesday, midweek game, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, right? So we kind of need to do it on Tuesdays to get all set up for all of our teams and weeks. And also talking about betting it yesterday, we had a lot of people in the chat talking about round robins, right? So we hit 5 out of 6. That'll also be a feature that we go through of selecting teams because we look at the week coming up, right? And we get all of our teams in line of who we like this weekend, setting it up for Friday night starters, Saturday starters, Sunday going as we do, trying to win the weekend. Absolutely, as Tony said, right? So it's a lot of fun. If you're new, I assure you, like, check it out. You'll definitely have a blast. And, everybody's part of it. So anyways, all that said, liked what I saw from UCLA, liked what I saw from LSU, Texas, Mississippi State, Georgia Tech, Coastal. They're playing who they're playing. Arkansas, good start. Crazy situation going on there with Dave Van Horn, the new athletic system, not getting him a new contract. He's basically coaching for his life this season, which we'll see how that goes. Louisville, not good. Auburn, need to hit the ball more, but a 3-0 cannot complain. TCU, great start right there with you. North Carolina, loved them. Oregon State, we're going to see more today. But not a bad start. Can't complain. Michigan playing hot. Florida, 2-1. Good start, man. Honestly, man. Good start. Tennessee 3-0, can't complain at all. Georgia, can't complain at all. Florida State, great start, only played 2. Same with NC State due to the tournament down there and weather. However, Florida State, NC State, love them. Love what I saw. Kentucky, absolutely loved what we saw. Looked like the beginning of Kentucky from last year. Clemson loved it. Southern Miss, big series win. And like you said, Santa Barbara was leading late in all of these games. Like they could have been swept. Wake Forest there, 2-1. Miami 3-0. Love what we saw from them. Vanderbilt 1-2 after the end of last year, even though the schedule was tough. What they played this weekend, still Hoss 1-2, not going to be sitting well. Vanderbilt's got to get the bats going. They have to do it because look, man, they scored 4 and lost, scored 1 and lost. Did score 13 against Texas Tech there. Arizona, brutal start for the boys, but not dying out on them. I believe in them. And Texas A&M can't complain at all, especially after last year and the madness that was. Give them credit. 3-0. That's a good start right there. Everything's calm, cool over there in College Station. All right, now let's take a look at home runs real quick, and I promise we'll get to the games. So here you guys dropping bombs so far. Jason Jones, Wichita State's got 4 home runs. Sergio Guerra, Tarleton, he has 3. Jackson Freeman at Northwestern, he has 3. J.C. Davis at Rice has 3. Caden Sorrell, A&M's got 3. Sawyer Solitaria at Kent State, what a name that is. He has 3. And then Blaine Brown at Tennessee has 3. There's a whole lot more. One dude, did you see the guy at Baylor who hit 3 grand slams in his first game?
You got to retire. Call it quits. Who are you? Marcus McDougal? What was the guy from Florida State?
Absolutely just set the tone right out of the gate. You know, whoever got him in the transfer portal was like, yeah, I told you.
I hope he's got a raise.
Yeah. All right. So
Marshall McDougal. That's the name I was thinking of.
Say it again.
Marshall McDougal, that little second baseman from Florida State that had like 7 homers in one game or 5.
Yeah. I love it. All right. So here's what we have in ranked games today. We have more games, college baseball, but this is what we have in ranked games. Okay. Michigan and Oregon State. 2 Eastern, 1 Central. Let's go. Arkansas at Tarleton. We just talked about your boy there. Old Sergio Guerra. He's hitting a nice 667 so far. Not a bad start, Greg. Kent State and LSU. So 3 ranked games today, but we have more. Washington and Houston. Washington winless on the season. I guess the reverse, knock on wood. And let me get the banners back up here with the picks. All right. Houston -1.5 on the run line, over under 13.5. Money line -135. So we're both on Houston. You have Houston singularly. I have them in a parlay with Hawaii. Again, you don't have to go in deep, but I think part of this, and feel free to explain why you're on Houston. I think half of it for me is fading Washington. I just don't think that they're a very good baseball team. The problem is they're gonna get one. It's baseball, right? But Houston seems like the much better team right now, man. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think right now you're jumping on a Houston team that's playing well, coming out early, having a nice victory to start the year, as a pretty big dog in the first place. I think that really sets the tone that you are able to stick around. And like you said, Washington, I didn't like them last year. And there's been no improvement to me with what I've seen in terms of that roster. Kind of a couple in between seasons, it feels like, recruiting wise. And I think they're catching Houston, especially now, at the wrong team. So I expect that line to continue to go up. 135 now, I see. So, it should keep moving. And it's as much as it's a favor of Houston as it is a fate of Washington. And then with the Oregon State Michigan game, almost somewhat of the same feeling. Michigan coming off 3 big wins in that championship, and you're in surprise still playing. I think that Oregon State is a deeper, better overall team. Stanford, I still don't know what to think of. I'm not high on them, but a good win yesterday for Oregon State to come off like that. And I think that Oregon State with revenge on the mind here has a chance to come back and beat Michigan now.
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling the same thing. What'd you say? Go ahead. Oh,
Nope.
sorry. All right. Yeah, Seattle said couldn't talk sides, family, and going to the Oregon State game today. Going on a hike instead. Look, yeah,
Smart.
this, this is going to be a heck of a game here. Now, Michigan 3-0. We were talking about it. The Michigan team does this, man. They start seasons hot. Now, I agree with you. Like Oregon State today, have to get the bats going, have to get going early. Cannot sit around and play that Oregon State. We're gonna win 4-3. Got to come out and hit because Michigan's gonna do it again. Look, these totals, my goodness, man. 14.5. That's a big total for this game. Yeah, I saw you shaking your head. You go the other way.
Yeah, way too high to me.
Yeah.
4 days in a row as well for these teams. This is as long as they're going to – this is more than they'll play for the College World Series. They get breaks between all of that. So with the exception of, I guess, the regionals, this is the most that any of these teams are going to play. I mean, you rarely ever do you see a Thursday. You rarely ever see a Thursday because they're not feeding them into the weekend series. Rarely do you see a Monday unless it's a makeup game. So 4 games in a row. And are you trusting the 4th day, 5th day, 6th day guy essentially from Michigan versus Oregon State? And already what I've seen from Oregon State is it's going to be similar to last season. Pitching and defense is going to win it, and that's how we win on the West Coast. That's how it's been bred here. And hitting's a benefit of good pitching and defense, but Northwest, especially Western baseball, is big time on playing small ball, accumulating runs over long term. And I think it was Texas was the first one I saw back in the day, but you try to score a run every inning, 9 runs a game is not too bad, I will just say. So I think that again, Oregon State in a position where I think the depth of their roster, especially the pitching staff, has a ability to handle Michigan today.
Yeah. Tony Vitello at Tennessee, that was his rule. We score a run every inning.
Yeah.
Like he was very upset if they didn't score a run every inning. Right now, can't ask for that, every day, but the mindset, I'm right there with you. Oregon State just reminds me of Vanderbilt so much.
Yeah.
They've got elite pitching. They have everything. They have elite pitching, elite hitting, elite coaching, manager staff, all that. Facilities, everything. But man, like it's just baseball. It is hard to win 4-3 games, 3-2. You play with fire. And Michigan, we've seen it out of this team last couple of years. They start hot, man. This team comes out hitting. So I'm fascinated to see what this game looks like today. But
back to circle that, because I didn't even get to the whole point of what I was trying to get to.
Yeah, my bad.
Over my own head. I would lean the under in that Oregon State game. I think that these two teams are more of an under special, in my opinion, because Oregon State also has no fear of giving up outs for runs too. Not scared to advance the runners. They're a team that can leave the ballpark. And we are in Arizona. We're not playing in Oregon. But also at the same time, you're playing in big ballparks with those spring training fields. So there is variance with it. So I lean the under, 14.5? Yeah, 14.5, I would lean it.
Yeah, great point as well, brought up by you and by Aubie here. Totals high plus early games should be unders, and Whale saying bullpens are the big question early. A great point. And that's exactly, well, like it said Oregon State going to woodshed Michigan. Like the mindset of the Monday, of what you're just talking about, right? It's going to come up again here in just a second. But I'm with you in that there have been a lot of games, and I think that I trust Oregon State in the spot. We're going to see them. Keep going. So, look, I have Oregon State and Western Kentucky. You can see it right there at the bottom, money line. So let's talk about this. Plus 130, put them both together. Western Kentucky, BYU, Western at home, on a Monday we just talked about, minus 1.5 on the run line. Again, a total of 13.5. Western Kentucky minus 150 on the money line. So again, I am not anti-BYU. We bet on BYU baseball a lot. And when it gets hot out in the West Coast, up there with elevation, that launching pad, we'll be betting overs for sure. Now the Hilltoppers here in beautiful Bowling Green, Kentucky, they're a good baseball team. And I'm kind of banking on the same thing. I liked Western to start the series. I liked Western through the series. I like Western to finish this thing today right. I think they're the better team. I think they have better pitching. I think they're a little more deep. I think they can go. All right, Air Force, Kansas State. I know you are on Kansas State here. Kansas State -3.5 on the run line. Air Force, yeah, we're going to see what we're going to get. Look at this total, 16.5. Let me get out of your way. Feel free to talk about BYU Western if you want to, but I know that you're on Kansas State. You're talking about them hitting the ball. Yeah, start there. Air Force, Kansas State. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, we had the over 15.5 last night in that game, and credit to Air Force. Boy, did they decide to put up some runs. So that was a solid finish. We went 2-0 last night. Had Nebraska on the run line as well, who came through and is also having a very nice year so far to start. But yeah, I think that to me this is all about the Kansas State offense. And Air Force has had to go through a lot of pitching as well. I mean, they're not rolling through 1, 2, 3 innings themselves here. So as well going, game 3, game 4 with these guys, I expect Kansas State to continue to do offense travels, especially this time of the year. And I expect them to continue to stay hot with the bats. And with what Air Force has been doing, they're producing runs and they're getting guys all over the place. So, 16.5 is high, but I don't hate it. Another thought too, you get a 7-run rule, or you get a 10-run rule, or whatever it is, you get your voided out depending on your book. So taking the over there isn't always the worst thought. You get a blowout victory or possibly a void. Regardless of that, we like Kansas State. We took them in the money line with the parlay. Obviously, you guys see the big spreads, but you've got to attack college baseball a different way. You can't compare it to other sports. The numbers are just so different and so skewed, and the sport is just so unique on its own that you have to know what you're looking for and not let these -400s or whatever it may be get in your head, because it's about long-term winning. And as proven, we've continued to do it like Allen does, where finding these lines and the teams at the right time is what it's all about in college baseball.
Well said, my friend. Now, here is the question. What are we going to get on a Monday from all of these teams in terms of pitching staffs? And here's what I'm asking. You're either going to get this, that the fourth guy, your midweek guy, who you're either banking on, hoping that this guy can eat 5 innings today, all right, and then you could play with a lead and get out of here. Or it's going to be you're starting that guy, things go south in the first inning, and now we're in a bullpen game. And some of these teams might not exactly have the arms to be doing that if you're playing in a fourth game. Today's fascinating. And what I'm getting at is that these totals are massive, but they're massive for a reason. You could see today could be a big freshman day. Big freshman day. I could see that going a lot. Now, let's keep going, because I saw our man Blade in the chat bring it up, and you just talked about him as well. Nebraska starting well this season. What are they, 3-0?
Yeah, they've played well. They've been off to a nice start. They've produced a lot of runs offensively too.
Yep. Now, here's the problem. Blade said, not a lot of love for Nebraska today. Oh, I love them. I am so scared of this game against this team, because trust me, I want to bet Nebraska. Money line, let's go. But good gosh, man, Stanford scares me because they're just good enough to go off. You know what I mean? Or betting Stanford and you could get embarrassed because they just fall right back to 1 run, just laissez-faire type game. What do you see out of this one?
Yeah, kind of what I've predicted from Stanford, just inconsistency across the board. Had the brutal beat to start the year nicely. We had the under, I think it was 12.5 the other night, and it was 5-1 going into the 9th, and we lost that one. Thank you, Stanford, for deciding to come back and lose 7-6 with a player thrown out at home to overturn what would have been a tie. So always a great start. But yeah, this Stanford team that epitomizes them as a whole. I can't figure out what they're doing right now. Um, a place that should have, endless talent, the history, and I'm disappointed with what Stanford's doing. It's obviously challenging with the ACC move, the travel, the recruiting that comes with that. It's going to be difficult. But you're Stanford University. You should have no problem getting anybody you want as long as you're academically viable. But it's been a year kind of like I expect the season to be. Ups and downs, inconsistency. The pitching looks okay at times, and then you get guys coming in from the bullpen that you just question, where did you decide that was going to be your decision to bring this man in? There's endless options out there, and unfortunately, for the last few years, Stanford's had problems with getting outs. We saw it last year with how many runs they were giving up every single game, regardless of the team, and my fear is that's going to continue. Easy layoff for me today on both sides. I can't figure out a total on it. I don't know who I like either way. I would lean Nebraska just because of what I've seen offensively, and I like that. But you know what? Stanford was a hit away yesterday from winning. They get walked off instead. So this one is the ultimate coin flip of the day to me versus, Fresno State and Utah on the other side. Utah's having problems getting anybody out. And I've already told you, I'm on Fresno State. We gave out Fresno State today. I think that they are the better team top to bottom. And I think that offense continues to roll. This is a game I would maybe look at that over 14.5. It does, it screams out a little bit because I do think that, Fresno will continue to get their runs. But like we've mentioned multiple times now, pitching's going to run out at a certain point here. So you got to keep scoring. And I think today is, with certain teams, it's going to be one of those. I think this is one of those spots for it.
Yeah, dude, today's going to be screen door on a submarine type of day. You don't know what you're going to get, man. Like, it's going to be all like Nebraska Stanford could be 2-1, could be 17-16, right? Utah Fresno State, I'm right there with you. This is the one total that I did look at. Like, I might play this one. If anybody's out there looking for, we'll be live today at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, and we'll see if we've had any line movements. Some funny comments here. Tez said, we're degenerates, AB. Nebraska money line in the under 16.5 for Oregon State. Let's go. Blade said, not sure who will have the better fourth starter between Huskers and Cardinals. Husker bats have been banging, though. Yes, they have. Nebraska's playing much better. Like, if you're just looking at it from that perspective, Nebraska's the play. Stanford just scares me. Good gosh. Groovy Alien, what's up, dudes? What's up, baby? So good to see you. Matty I said Utah over 6.5 team total minus 130. I like that. Well, need Sasaki to be the spark plug for him. Let's keep going. Gonzaga and Hawaii. All right. I'm taking a chance here, baby. Let's go. I want Hawaii baseball tonight. Take it on the Zags. All right. In Hawaii. Good spot. Let's get it. We're going to pair it with Houston here. You see it down below. Plus 155. All right. If we could get, okay, we've got Houston in the early game today. That's going to start here in like an hour and 15 minutes as we speak. Need to get Houston win. Not only you have a money line singularly, we have them in parlays. We need to get that Houston dub over UW, over Washington. Then we don't have to wait long. 5:05 Central today. Gonzaga, Hawaii here. All right. So Hawaii minus 2.5 on the run line, a total of 13.5. Hawaii money line minus 220. Anything that you've seen from Gonzaga and Hawaii so far this year, Greg?
Yeah, I can't figure out why Gonzaga is the favorite in the conference. They do not look good to me. I mean, Hawaii is not this good in terms of how they've handled the weekend. I love the perfect example, I will say. Could you summarize a first, I guess, opening day for college baseball better than a wild throw on a sacrifice bunt to walk off the night for Hawaii? Like, sloppiness is, it's as average and normal as it gets in college baseball. You got to pull your hair out. It's like, I'm used to it with Korean baseball, so I see it on a nightly basis. But there's times in college baseball you just got to take a step back and realize these are kids still out there. And a lot of them, this is the biggest stage they've ever played on that you're watching right now. So it brings things into reality real quick at times, but it'll make you want to pull your hair out. It'll also make you, enjoy every minute of it. We were on that UCLA thing yesterday watching, goes from blowing the lead to tying it to blowing it to flying out at the wall to end it. It's what makes college baseball so great.
No lead is ever safe. Like
no
lead
is ever safe.
No, like
your leadoff walk away.
Yeah, dude, that's so well said. You're a leadoff walk away. You get that first runner on. Oh my goodness, what is it, like 72%?
Yeah, like 70, 70-something percent now. Yeah, leadoff walks always score. So I'd rather give up a solo home run to start the inning.
I tell you, I love sweating baseball. I love it more than anything else, man. And especially college, it's the best. And yeah, like a lot of these games can't get them. So you're just staring at that stat broadcast live game cast thing. And you're like, all right, come on, E. Suarez. Let's go, Suarez. Come on, baby. Get a rip. And then you see the screen refresh. You're like, you have a heart attack every time. You're like, oh, what just happened? Oh, foul ball.
And you can only see when you click it, you can only see the visiting team score in the corner first. So you know that side of things.
So true. And you're like, oh my God, I hope we have 6.
Yeah, I see that certain score. Like, I'll just close it again. I already know we're on the right path.
100%, man. All right. So yeah. All right. Now here's another thing. Speaking of Gonzaga, we've seen this the last 2 years. Teams in the Pacific Northwest, it takes them a minute to get going. Gonzaga, we literally dealt with this with them last year, right? So, I don't know what it is, but it's happened before, and yeah. So I don't want to write off Gonzaga. I'm with you in regards to the conference, though. And then just in regards to this game, I think that even though Hawaii, not the best baseball team on planet Earth, they're not bad. And there is a home field advantage to this. There is all that.
Game 4 on the islands.
Yeah.
They probably are enjoying themselves as they should a little bit too. But credit to Gonzaga last year. Didn't they open against Tennessee? Didn't they go to Tennessee?
Yeah.
Yeah. So give them credit there.
Oh, they schedule. Like, that's another thing too. Like, they schedule out of conference well. So I'm right there with you. As for this game, I think it's just a good it's a good spot for Hawaii, right? Like, I think we're just in a good spot here. I wouldn't be surprised. Like, if you don't want to play Hawaii to win the game, I don't know what the team total is, but Hawaii might put up a few runs. If it's low, Hawaii might put up a few.
We took Gonzaga opening night at like plus 180. I thought that was way too, and then we backed it up. We had Gonzaga plus 2.5 for game 2 with one of our parlays. Just because with those first couple games, I didn't see Hawaii being this offensive juggernaut that was going to blow everybody away. So it seemed like pretty good value, especially, going to the islands game 1. You're excited too. It's pressure on everybody with that one. So it was surprising. But yeah, I would lean Hawaii again. I wouldn't be surprised with scoring. Although, you know what? Hawaii has proven themselves as a pretty solid pitching staff. Give credit to their coaching because, all of last year, they really have stepped into the scene. And smart as well by them with the scheduling and the location, but being the standalone game almost every night brings so much attention to Hawaii baseball now.
Yeah. Oh, big time. Like, the more we get this sport out in just the normal culture, because people, it's just access to it.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part. It's hard to get into it when you can't watch it, So yeah, I'm right there with you, man. Groovy said Iowa moneyline women's college basketball. Let's go. All right. Now, speaking of basketball. All right. So that's what we have in baseball. Picks down here at the bottom. You see that. Now, college basketball, we have 2. My voice just cracked. We have 2. Going back to a teenager. All right. Syracuse and Duke. We have 2 ranked games. Syracuse at number 4, Duke. Duke, a 19.5 point favorite. Total of 142.5. Greg, are you playing Duke to win by 20 tonight? Yes or no?
No, absolutely not. As we've learned from last season, it's about longevity. Duke has put themselves into a position now for a 1 seed, and it's really about writing things out right now. As long as they don't get ousted early in the ACC tournament, they should have no problem with the 1 seed, getting a good bye, getting a good regional area, um, and being into a good position. Duke's done everything they need to do so far. And it's that weird sleepy Monday kind of game at home, that weird position that we see with these college kids. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens, but tell me what Duke needs to prove to anyone to win by 20 tonight. Syracuse, bigger game for them in terms of traveling. Always a big deal to play at Cameron. I think 20 is too many.
Yeah, I agree. It's just, it's so
And
many
yeah, I would
points.
lean the under as well. As I just saw, I would lean the under as well because of that.
Yeah, it's so many points, man. It's just a lot, and like you said, motivation there. Like you've got to be up 25,
At least.
yeah, because yeah. All right, so yeah, that's up in there. Lambo said Syracuse team total is at 61.5. Not many times lately a Duke opponent has had a team total line above 60. It's a good point. And Lambo's brought that up literally multiple times. And Duke's defense has been smoking cats. That's the thing for me. I don't hate Duke to win by 20. I don't hate that at all. That said, though, it's just so much risk with that, you know? Like we're saying the same. There's just your path to success is so thin, man. Because just any little thing that could go wrong and they win by 18 and you're screwed. Houston and Iowa State. Now, this is a heck of a game right here, buddy. Iowa State, 2.5-point favorites, total of 134.5. Houston, 23-2 on the year, 11-1 in the Big 12, and you could get the third-ranked team in the country plus 2.5. Now, here's the problem. Iowa State is playing as well as anyone in the country. They look good, confident, they can score, they can play defense. This team can do it all. So can Houston. This game's going to be fantastic. Iowa State, 2.5-point favorites, total of 134.5. Greg, I am on the over 134.5, even though overs in Houston basketball games can be scary. All right, it's like reading a Goosebooks book when you were like 7. Like, I don't know if I'm going in that cave. I don't know where that came from, but shout out to Goosebumps. Greg, what do you think about Houston, Iowa State here?
Yeah, I am afraid of the dark still because of that. Thank you. Thank you, Nickelodeon.
What a show. That show was scary. The intro with the fire.
With the little candle. Yeah, that thing was terrifying. So.
Dude, it was. Yeah,
that was no walk in the park there. I think, doesn't this feel like an Elite Eight game? This is everything about both these teams. Yes, we're going to see defense. That's why these teams are where they are. Pride themselves on getting down and playing strong defense the entire possession all game long. Going to make it miserable. I like Houston tonight. I think Houston's used to this position. I think it's a more comfortable spot for them, especially getting a couple points on the road. But backing up what you said, I do like the over more than that. 134 is a little bit too low. I expect the game, as the line is proven, it's going to be close. With that being said, I expect to go back and forth for a little while. All we need is a run or two with a couple shots that are falling quickly to get this thing over. 134 is fairly low, in my opinion, with two teams that can get out and run a little bit if they want to. And especially with how we're going to get a lot of lockdown one-on-one defense throughout it, I think that we're going to get as many breakouts on long rebounds as we can tonight and try to push that tempo.
Right there with you. All right. And I think we get a back and forth affair. And like you said, we just need a couple runs. All right. We just need a couple runs, hitting some shots. Let's get to the free throw line on both sides for both of these teams because they can hit from the strike. Now, a couple things about this. All right. So Sand says, I got Houston winning the tourney. They're very good. Lambo, Houston team total at 66.5. They are efficient enough to get to 70. Expected a lot of fouls in this game too. Right there. So, Number one, Fouls, I'm right there with it. Let me take a drink of Sprite real quick. Okay, couple things. So first off, looking at the total, 134.5. What do we need to get that total? 70-65, roughly. That's 135. Can we get to 70-65? Either way, okay? So there are a couple ways to look at it. Number one, you could just take the over 134.5, okay? Number two, Lambeau, Houston team total 66.5. They are efficient enough to get to 70, expecting a lot of fouls in this game. Absolutely, okay? That team total right there, Iowa State's team total is playable as well. Let me give you a third option. And I found this on DraftKings. I'm sure other books have it. Might be worded differently. What do you think about both of these teams getting to 68 points? Because here is what I'm proposing to you, Greg. On DraftKings, under team totals or game totals, both teams to score over 67.5 is plus 205. Does that get your attention?
Big time. And it gives the attention because there's spots to middle with it too. If you get one of them that you know is going to get over there early, you can find a way to play that into your total spread, however you want it to be. You know what you're looking for and have a certain angle. That is not a bad play at all. And like you said, with going hand in hand with the foul side of things, playing strong defense over and over gets a lot of fouls. It's just going to happen, depending on how it's called too. If you get a tighter ref crew that wants to keep things in line, we might get 6 or 7 fouls in the first couple minutes here. You just never know with the way that things are going to line up, especially with two teams that want to be really physical on the defensive end.
Yeah. And what we're looking to do is, let's be honest, we're taking a shot here, right? Like we're looking at it saying, ooh, you know what? I think this is a game where we can make some money. Because if we could get the right atmosphere and just get, I mean, roughly, not roughly, if we could get both teams to 68, you are printing money. If we get this game to overtime, you're printing money. However, there are bad paths to that as well. This game can absolutely end 61-58. It absolutely can do that, right? If Houston dominates, which I'm not saying they will, or if Iowa State and their defense dominates and Houston's offense doesn't show up, this game can go way under. So I don't want to put it as like this is a lock. Like, no. We're taking the shot on it. But they're like, you know, when you watch a game on ESPN, college football game, you know, it shows the percentage. This team's going to win 97.1%, right? Like, we have a decent percentage to get to 68. Again, not a lock, but I don't know. AB, I like that idea. Yeah, man. Like, it's worth looking at it. And again, we'll be live at 3 p.m. Eastern, so we don't have to place it right now, but just put it on the radar that this one could go. Just AB the go. That's you, bro. So Iowa State has done well after big wins, such as St. John's and Creighton. Also, Houston has Arizona next. Good call.
That looks like a goat and a mountain lion combined into one thing.
That's what we need right there.
Doesn't it?
Yeah. Hey, there are videos. Speaking of this, there are videos on YouTube where these people, they'll have a farm and they'll have rams, and these rams are going berserk mode on everything. They're just running into cows, everybody, just giving literally, dude, hit sticks, truck sticks. If you need something to laugh at today, look that up. Like, they're not like out there like obliterating them, but some of them were not prepared for that work.
They got a little Ray Lewis in them.
Oh my God. Because they go head up, boy. They're great form.
Yeah, great form. Yeah.
They got concussions.
Oh, yeah. There'd be a lot of helmet to helmet, leading with the helmet.
I'm telling you, go look it up. It's funny. If you need like a minute to laugh, it's because these dudes, because they'll hit and then they'll just back up and then they'll hit again. Like, they have courage, dude. Like, they want it. It's hilarious. All right. So, yeah, I'm going with the over here, man, but we have options on that for sure. So I'm going to go over 134 and a half. Hey, shout out to Zach, our boy. Okay. So, yeah, that's what we have, man. Let me put the picks back up here on the screen. I'll pull the banner down and hit it one more time. We'll get out of here, man. And I know you got a flight to catch too. So you're going to be at Circa all week. Is that right?
Yeah, leaving and flying out in a couple hours. We'll be over at Circa. Yeah, so we'll be doing content with you guys. I'll try to keep it down or stick some earphones in the lady's ears so she doesn't get woken up at 7 a.m. every morning with me. Or I'll wander down to the book for us. But yeah, I'll be at Circa through the end of the week. So if anybody is in Sin City, feel free to reach out to me, grab a drink or whatever. But yeah, we will. We'll have some fun. Should be good. I didn't plan to go for 5 days, but hey, it's here. And honestly, for college baseball like us, this is a perfect time to be there. Can still get our conference futures in, some World Series futures, and we'll give you some fun background. Maybe we'll give you the Circa book one day or something as our background. But yeah, today's action. We went one on Friday with you guys. Fullerton handled business, missed out on one of our two parts of that parlay, so bounce back today and hopefully get a sweep of the board. Houston money line, first play today. We are on the fade of Washington like we talked about. So like the Cougars on the diamond. Fresno State money line, like them today as well. I think it's a great spot for them to finish off that series. And then our parlay of the day, which is actually my play of the day. It's our 2% spot. Oregon State money line and Kansas State money line. We'll wrap up our day. Had our first parlay of the year, hit a plus 577 on Saturday for members. So off to a nice little start and a profitable weekend. So away we go, and welcome to 2026 college baseball.
Nice, man. Dude, great work, man. And where can we find you? Where can we find you at?
I have my Twitter. Obviously, you can find me out there at California Wager, California_Wager on Instagram, TikTok as well. And then I do have an account for other sales through Dub Club, which I use occasionally for those that don't have X or want another option. California Wager, you can find me there, or we can always do the old school way. I do check my email, and I know some guys like that. So CaliforniaWager@gmail.com is always an option. Give out tons of free plays every day. It's fun to enjoy winning with my clients. The last thing that we're chasing is client sales. I do this every day for a living. This has just become a great addition to find, new faces, new names. And Alan fortunately reached out to me a couple of years ago, and this has been a great connection. So continuing to enjoy our college baseball fun, and we'll run through another year together.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We sure do appreciate you for sure. Big Brad is on Bravo Illuminage. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Over 2.75, minus 135. I am on college basketball, Houston, Iowa State, over 134.5. College baseball, Oregon State money line, Western Kentucky money line paired together, plus 130. Houston money line, Hawaii money line paired together at plus 155. Now, a couple questions real quick, and we will jump out of here. Or a couple comments saying Arizona needs a get-right game after that Texas Tech stunner, or they go down the Michigan State path and fall apart. Michigan broke Tom Izzo. They kind of did. It's wild to see. Aubie, an hour on a Monday, y'all killed it. Hey, y'all killed it. The crew, you absolutely killed it. Greg, absolutely smoked it, man. Great job. Yeah, dude, love it. Hey, let's get DTL on Fremont Street. I'm with you on that.
I'll bring my own tape. I'll get one of those circles. I'll make my own one.
Yeah. AJ said, hey, what site do you guys use for research? As my TV goes, hey, we're going to Roku City now. All right. What site do you guys use for research? D1baseball.com. So give it a little bit of time. They're starting to get all the player stats are loaded in. They're starting to do the team stats now. So you'll have all that. Anybody that's new, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. I mean, we'll go over college baseball every day here, but Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, we'll walk through literally the entire week of what's coming up, midweek games, and then the weekend games. We go through all the stats. We go through home runs, both as a team. We go through it as players, and we look at all of the matchups coming up, which teams are coming off a bounce back, which teams are playing absolutely hot right now, pitching staffs, all of that. So, yeah, definitely come here and we'll get you as much info as we can. But love the question too. What site do you guys use for research? Because you got to do it on your own too. So D1baseball.com. Love them. They're fantastic. Great people over there. Kendall Rogers and his team. They do a great job. So yeah, I want to give them a ton of credit because you'll see most of the stuff, the screenshots that we use, it's from them. So not taken from them. Want to give them all the love and the credit in the world. Go there. They're the absolute best, man. They take it seriously, professionally, and they do a good job. Jeff, thanks, AB, Greg, Brad, crew. I'm going to miss the evening show. I have the lower back burn to get. Hey, I hope you're all right, bro. Keep us updated on that. Seattle, thanks, AB, Greg, and crew. Appreciate you all. Love the few times I can join live. Dude, it's so great to have you. And I know it's tough in life to make a show every day. Sometimes you catch it after, sometimes you can't. But just want to say thank you that you could make it. So good to see you. And no doubt. All right, let's get out of here. Everybody have a wonderful, wonderful Monday. We'll be live 3 p.m. Eastern today. Finish up college baseball, college basketball. We'll go from there. So everyone, have a wonderful, wonderful Monday. See you this afternoon. Peace.
Who's got it better than us? Nobody.